You know, I just throw stuff at them, and then they say yes. So we've come up with a new name. They are called the Unitones.
Not the
I think that was a Trina original, wasn't it? It was a Josie. It was a Josie original. Yay! Thank you for that. So don't worry that the camera's crooked, because they will not be surprised on our YouTube channel if I'm off center, right? It's okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Daniel Nehemiah. Yes? Yes. How we have been blessed by his work. So 2 priests are standing by the side of the road, holding up a sign. And the sign says, "The end is near. Turn yourself around now before it's too late. The end is near." So they plan to stand along the road and hold this sign up to each and every passing car. So there they stand with their little signs. And the first car that goes by says, "Leave us alone, you crazy religious nuts. Go home." And about that time, they go speeding by, and the priests hear a big splash. And one priest looks at the other and says, "Do you think it'd be better to shorten our sign to say bridge out?"
Good girl.
I can't help myself. Prepared. They were preparing people for the next step. And they just didn't listen. Anytime in your life you get a big sign that says turn around and you keep going and you end up getting really wet. The bridge was out. In all matters before beginning, a diligent preparation should be made. In all matters before beginning, a diligent preparation should be made, Cicero tells us. Present moment holds the key to liberation, says Eckhart Tolle. You know, for a person who worked as a project manager for 15 years, I used to say I'm a project manager. I was always projecting what was going to come next. And in those teachings of be in the now moment, live in the now, be present, I would roll my eyes as I would put my chaplain badge on, as I shared with you last week sometimes, and I would say, well, that doesn't get me ready for retirement. That kind of thinking doesn't keep me safe from all the evils that are out there in the world that are coming my way and all the unexpected joys of being human. Living in the now moment is still one of the toughest things for me to get my head wrapped around. And my heart is in a far way back second to understanding it. Because I can stand here with you and you know full well that we could have had a grand thought about this morning. We could have lived in the present moment and stood here and affirmed it all day long, and these chairs would not find their way to where they are. We tried that. It didn't work. Living in the present moment is something that feels to me, and maybe I'm the only one in the room, that it counters straight up against being prepared. Think of how much time in your life you spend preparing. Now, the holidays are around the corner. 40 days till Thanksgiving. And we're already starting, at least the retailers are. We're preparing. We look around and the planet shows us the perfect exercise of preparing for the next season. I'll get rid of these leaves, I'll let my sap drop to the ground, and I will be safe for the winter. That's what the trees are saying right now. We have lots of examples around us that preparation is absolutely required. And yet we say, be present. Be in the now moment. I struggle with reconciling those thoughts. How about you? Ever?
Yes.
Thank you. I always remind people it's interactive, when I'm speaking. Between Daniel telling me to get ready, to be present, to allow God to be God, and Eckhart Tolle and Cicero, and all these thoughts about being present, I got to tell you, this preparing for this talk was very irritating to me. And it just was. Because I have all these years of teaching that I know how this works. I affirm it, God shows up, and we create it, we co-create it. How do I reconcile that with, I got to get in the car and I got to drive across town and I'm going to visit someone that may be taking the last breath in their life? Don't talk to them about preparing for anything because they want to be in the present moment because it's the one they've got. It's a tough reconcile for me. How does this apply to finding our new church home? If I'm just going to stand here and be in the present moment, I'm standing in a studio, we're having a service, we must be okay. How do I reconcile taking the steps and preparing to move into our next beautiful, amazing spiritual home? If I stay in the now moment, how do I do that? How do I get ready when I don't know what the world is going to throw at me? Preparation is how I do it. I get ready when I stand up and I affirm that God in me is amazing. And it doesn't matter what the world is throwing at me in a given moment because I have prepared. Now I want to offer this thought up to you. There is a difference between preparing and planning. When I plan, I come in with a predisposed idea. I've got a plan. And I'm going to say this, and then he's going to say that, and then I'm going to say this, and then he's going to say that, and I'm going to plan exactly how this is going to turn out. And I have so much attachment to that plan that I can't see what God may have for me. But if I came into that same conversation and I was prepared to know that God is ever conspiring to bring me to my highest and my best, I was prepared at a soul level to receive what I am co-creating right now with God. I don't come in with a predisposed idea. I say preparation works. I say that planning will knock you out. Because I can figure it out right down to the last little minute.
Yes, you can.
I can, and I do, and that's planning. But if I have stepped back and prepared myself to receive what God has for me, it's a different experience. And all of a sudden, I got okay with being a project manager. All of a sudden, I got permission that it's okay, Penny, that you want to be prepared. But you might want to let go of some of that planning. We have an idea of a fabulous location for this home, for our new spiritual home. We have an idea, and we've done the preparations, and we've met with the landlord, and we are moving forward. But if we go in with a predisposed idea of what that is supposed to look like, we set ourselves up for a lot of disappointment. Have you ever done that in your life? Did you ever plan it so well and it rained? I've done weddings, and my first thing that I say to the couple is, what's your backup plan when it's an outdoor wedding? And they prepare themselves mentally in that moment to know that the day has the opportunity to still be the greatest day of their life. Because they have prepared themselves to receive the good that is theirs. We have that opportunity in our lives to prepare for the good that God has for us. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because there's a lot of good out there to get. Are you ready? I'm listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Are you willing to let go of the plans, the spreadsheets? And I'm not saying they don't work. Trust me.
Robbie and I use spreadsheets.
I use spreadsheets. But everything we're taught and everything that we're told about planning is that it reduces errors and it prevents rework and it makes life easier and people feel more comfortable. And the way to Carnegie Hall is practice, practice, practice. And I love the quote that says, and practice, 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 and planning, planning, planning will get you perfect practice and perfect planning. Because we still have to be prepared for the world to show up and life to show up. And be willing to receive the good out of it. If we're so busy planning. I have an idea. I want to feed 15 people on Thanksgiving. I don't know what that looks like yet. But I am prepared for the universe to step in and say, how about these 15? How about this turkey? How about this ham? I'm willing to receive that. And then I can stand in alignment with all that the universe has for me. Like the bears that Michael talked about. First it's the berries, then it's the fish. The universe supplies exactly what they need when they need it. If that bear was so focused, I wanted fish today, and there were only berries, he'd go in the cave hungry. Do you do that in your life? Do you miss the berries? Do you miss what God puts in front of you? Because you've got your mind set on fish or whatever. Do you ever do that in your life? How do we avoid this? How do we stop doing this? I love this quote that I found, and there was nobody attached to it. It isn't mine, but I still like it. Planning leads to awareness. Preparation leads to readiness.
Wow.
Planning leads to awareness. Preparation leads to readiness. Get ready. God is in it. God is with you. You can do this, but you don't have to plan it every step of the way, Penny. You just don't have to do that. I love the quote, people plan and God laughs. And I have decided after 59 years on this planet, I am a source of entertainment. I am a source of entertainment. There is joy in preparing ourselves. There is expansion. There is knowing. There is learning. There is infinite possibility when we prepare ourselves to receive what the universe has for us, and we get out of the planning business. The bottom line is this: planning causes you to attach to the outcome. Anybody?
Yeah.
Preparing opens the way. I'm ready to receive. Say it with me. I'm ready to receive.
Now.
Now. I like that addition. I am ready to receive now. I am ready to be the greatest expression I am called into. I am ready to be the greatest expression I am called into. I am ready to heal. I am ready to be present. I am ready to say it's okay, Eckhart Tolle. All right, I'll live in the moment. I'm ready. I am preparing for that. And I'm getting out of the planning business. And you guys are going to remind me of this, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to fire you.
I don't want you to fire me. There are opportunities everywhere, just as there always has been, says Charles Fillmore. There are opportunities everywhere, just as there always has been. So instead of having so much invested in the planning, perhaps the preparation of ourselves to receive is where the power is. And when we start to get into that busy planning mode, I have a really big, busy planning mode. And when I feel myself getting wound up and wound around the axle with that, I now have a new point of reference. I'm moving back into preparing myself for what is the next step, for what is the next thing, for what is the next blessing that I am open to. Planning is being attached to the outcome, and preparation is the action of making ready. Get ready. God has incredible, infinite, amazing things. Prepare to co-create that in your life. Find peace there. Find joy there. We are the ones to do this. We are the ones. And when we model this on the planet, and people are not running around in planning mode, but in preparation mode to receive, we will live on a different planet. We will live in a different world. And we are the ones in this room. It's our job. Namaste.
Namaste.